So we knew that if we went to that forest and flushed them out, would degrade their capacity.
No, the greatest challenge that you face, though, is the Fulani herdsmen today, which...
Hello, welcome to this channel. There is this video I came across and I would like us to watch it together. But before we do that, please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do that. Click on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell to keep being part of this. Then as you watch, do not forget to react and also drop your comments in the comment section.
So we knew that if we went to that forest and flushed them out, would degrade their capacity.
No, the greatest challenge that you face, though, is the Fulani herdsmen today, which is being reported in just about every other media, that they are the ones perpetrating this crime.
Which crime?
Are they the ones?
Which crime?
Killing of people.
No. Look, let me explain the three problems, and then you will get it in context. The cattle rustling and banditry is an essentially Fulani phenomenon. Okay, it is Fulanis, and we knew where they were, and we collaborated with the state governments surrounding that notorious forest range, Kamuku Kuyambane Forest Reserve, and said, look, this is a problem that we have to solve jointly. We collaborated with the cooperation of other state governments. We put together money and a military operation, flushed them out. Okay? And today we have over 300 young Fulanis between 18 and 30 in custody for kidnapping, for cattle rustling, and robbery. Okay? So that we understood. It was easy because that's one place.
Okay. We follow that one up. When you understood the problem and flushed them out, did you subsequently find out that perhaps in that process, while they were flushed out, did they get involved in the other crisis which you're about to explain?
Maybe they did. Okay, I will come to that, because we have this problem has multiple dimensions, and I will try to cover everything as much as I can. But I'm trying to classify the problems and tell you what we did. Okay, so to a large extent, we degraded cattle rustling. They moved on to kidnapping. Okay, we have addressed that to a large extent. It's more or less sorted in Kaduna. Unfortunately, because of weak law enforcement, there are copycat crimes all over the states now. I'm learning to my dismay that even in Lagos now you have cases of kidnapping. But this is what we did. Now, the second problem of the urban gangs we addressed, because the police and the SSS knew who these gangs were. It was just the capacity to bring them to justice that was lacking, and that was done. So to a large extent, we solved that. It still breaks out once in a while because drug addiction is a big problem, but that was sorted. The Southern Kaduna was more difficult because we didn't understand it, and this is why we needed a high-profile committee like the Agwai committee to look at it, and they did. We established the committee in July. By the end of August, they submitted a report. They went round Southern Kaduna, they talked to communities, they talked to everybody, and they came back with certain findings and recommendations, and the findings were very enlightening, even to me, who is Fulani. Okay, I'm 87.5% Fulani, I'm told by my parents. They found that there were three groups of Fulanis: the settled Fulanis, like me, that don't herd cattle, they're settled in one place, don't move around up and down. The semi-settled that live in Nigeria, they are Nigerians, but move their cattle up and down in search of pasture. And then there's the transhumans pastoralists that come from other African countries. Fulanis are in about 14 countries. All over West Africa, there is virtually no country in West Africa that is no Fulani minority or even majority. And under an ECOWAS protocol signed in 2003, these Fulanis take their cattle when the dry season in their country starts and herd them down to Nigeria, up to central Nigeria, okay, in search of pasture. And around March, when the rains start, they start moving back the same routes. And apparently, I didn't know this until I got briefing as governor, there are international stock routes mapped out from pre-colonial times that these transhumans herdsmen follow. Unfortunately, because of population explosion. We are 50 million at independence. Today we are nearly 200 million because of population explosion. Urban development and farmlands have taken over some of these international routes. Okay, this is the basis for the clashes. Now, a herdsman in Guinea, for instance, thinks that he can follow this route, and as he's following the route, he meets a farm, and his cattle destroys part of the farm, and the farmer.
In any situation, have you gotten reports, intelligence reports, that perhaps the farmers also took the cows of the herdsmen?
No, we have no such reports. But what often happens that when damage to a farm occurs, in those days the Fulani would leave behind a small calf as compensation. So you know what I'm trying to say, that in the past there used to be a framework to settle these things, okay, but that framework has more or less collapsed. So when we understood this, so Agwai committee identified this and said, and they also found that some of what we're seeing in southern Kaduna were reprisal killings for what happened in 2011. Because in 2011, as the herdsmen were moving their cattle back to their countries or to their locations in various parts of northern Nigeria, the post-election violence took place in April. And many of them were trapped. They just happened to be there. And they were killed. Cattle, their livestock lost, and so on. And so some of them were coming back to do reprisal killings. Most of the Fulanis within Nigeria filed claims, okay, because there was the Lemu Commission of Inquiry that looked at this problem and made recommendation that federal government should pay compensation to those that lost cattle.
Pardon me, but where did this happen? Where were they trapped?
They were trapped mostly around Zonkwa in Zangon Katab local government, Kaura and Jema'a. Okay?
These were all in southern Kaduna?
Yes, these are in southern Kaduna. And this happened to be also the areas where we have these problems today. Okay? There are 8 local governments in southern Kaduna. Only 3 or 4 have this problem. Okay? And this is where mostly the killings in 2011 took place. Now, after the Lemu Commission made recommendations and the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set up by Kaduna State also made similar findings, compensation was offered to those that were killed, displaced, and so on. And some of the federal government provided the money and compensation was paid. But of course, those that are in Guinea, in Mali, in Niger cannot claim any compensation. They didn't even appear before the Commission of Inquiry. These are the people coming back to carry out reprisal killings.
We'll come back and take a look at it from that perspective and find out what you also did to solve this problem. You have said that you did identify how kinds of Fulani that exist, how some of them move from different countries into Nigeria to cause some of these problems. Now, on the 3rd of December 2016, it was widely published that you had a meeting with a select group of journalists, and you did brief them that your government has traced some violent, aggrieved Fulani to their countries and paid them to stop killings of southern Kaduna natives and the destruction of their communities, saying that the renewed violence is carried out by bandits. Could you explain this to me?
Well, look, that was reported not only incorrectly but out of context. What we did was this. The Agwai committee recommended that we should reach out to these transhumance pastoralists because they have established that most of the attacks in southern Kaduna are traceable to them because they were outside the process of the Lemu Commission and the Kaduna State Commission of Inquiry. They did not receive any compensation. They didn't even appear before the commission because they are foreigners. And one of the members of the Agwai committee fortuitously was part of a team that the late governor of Kaduna State, Patrick Yakowa, was sending to reach out to these people. Apparently, Yakowa also stumbled onto this information and realized that he had to reach out to these transhumance pastoralists from other countries, and that process was going on. If you look at Yakua's tenure, in 2011 there were attacks, but he started this outreach, and throughout 2012 until he died, there were no attacks as such. Okay, so one of the members of the committee mentioned this, and it was in the Aguirre recommendation to reach out to these people through NGOs, civil society organizations, and so on. So we reassembled the team and said, go out and talk to them. Tell them that this has to stop. Tell them that we are willing to offer compensation for lost lives, for lost livestock, but it is senseless to keep killing people because you feel that you've been offended.
So did they respond to you? Yes.
Pardon?
Did they respond to you positively?
They did. We sent a team and they went round, and by the time they made 3 or 4 such groups, the killing stopped.
Thank you for watching this video. Please leave your contribution in the comment section and also do well to subscribe. I'll see you in my next video.